still out there in their palace. The tensions are still high. Emir Bayero has been deposed, but he's not out of town yet. They're still filing court orders here and there. The police and the military are still saying they're still in defense. So what is really going on? I think at some point before the end of this week, something has to give.
The crisis surrounding the position of the Emir of Kano has indeed generated significant tension, characterized by numerous court orders and counter-court orders from various interested parties. The situation can be understood as a complex power struggle with far-reaching implications for Kano State and Nigeria as a whole. Yes, the conflict tracks back to the sacking of Sanisu Lamido, the former governor of Kano State, who then appointed Bayero as the Emir. This move has been a source of continuous contention and has led to a highly charged atmosphere in Kano State. At this point, I'd like us to take a look at the journalistic perspective as Rufai Useni, Dr. Reuben Abati and Ayo of Arise News channel takes a swipe on the underlying issues. Yes, they have been vocal in their analysis, shedding light on the underlying issues at play. This commentary suggests that the struggle for the emirates is less about tradition and more about politics and economic control. Do well to drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let's get to know what you think about the analysis of Arise News journalists, and I'll be coming back to give my thoughts about it. Take a look.
You know, the madness going on in Kano beats me. Our judiciary have now become a citadel of forum shopping, where you have orders, counter orders here and there. Between Sunday till now, we've had 4 different orders. So what's the future for the common man? I want us to reason together. And the confusion is so pervasive about the space, about our national space, that even the presidential spokespeople are fighting amongst themselves as regards confusion on orders. So you have Ajuri versus Onanuga, you have Bayero versus Sanusi, and that's where we are today as we celebrate an inauguration day. And 1 year after, which is also a reflection of the pervasive confusion of the country. So at this point in time, are they going to leave the Kano situation to peter out in courts, or there's going to have to be some intervention? Because with all of this, tensions are still high. The 2 relatives are still in their palaces. So funny that I hear one is even married to the other one's sister. They're still out there in their palace. The tensions are still high. Emir Bayero has been deposed, but he's not out of town yet. They're still filing court orders here and there. The police and the military are still saying they're still in defense. So what is really going on? I think at some point before the end of this week, something has to give. We can't continue this uncertainty in Kano at this level of madness. The governor must be allowed to lead his state. Whoever the puppeteers are pulling the strings should know that this is not good for democracy. And I asked them, if Kano was a state that is alignment with the APC in the central government, will this happen? When Ganduje deposed Sanusi, and Ganduje was alignment in the center, did we have all of this controversy? Is it because Kano is an opposition state that all of this is happening? Are we going to continue with this level of confusion? And where are the commissions that look at judgments and things like that back and forth? We've been able to establish that the Federal High Court does not have jurisdiction over chieftaincy matters. But this federal government has given 2 court orders. Different courts, and we're seeing different moves from different jurisdictions, here and there. So what is going on in Nigeria? And that's why I say, God, I pray for this country so that we don't slip into the abyss of madness. Because increasingly it doesn't look like we have a nation to me. Please, I beg the actors, let us resolve this as soon as possible. This is not nice. It is not fair. We can't make a caricature of our traditional institutions because politicians want to play 10-10 in the public space of shame and avarice. We cannot allow this happen.
Okay, I said yesterday that this thing called jurisdiction, I offer the definition, even if it's an adjectival definition, but jurisdiction is determined by the courts, so that's not the big issue here. If people have issues with jurisdiction, they go to the courts to plead it. It's not enough to just pronounce jurisdiction into existence. It will be argued on the floor of the court. But I think what is more important in this kind of case is the manner in which the judiciary has been dragged into the matter. When politicians, when power brokers invent their own problems, the judiciary, becomes it gets into the arena. Whereas the principle is that the Judas should not descend into the arena. The judiciary should just pursue the course of justice. In this particular case, we've had 3 different interventions by the courts. The first by Justice Liman, giving a restraining order. I think the matter is supposed to come up on June 3 for hearing. And that was the initial thing that created controversy. Now that's a federal high court. Now you had the state high court of Justice Emir Lamido also issuing an order saying that Emir Sanusi could not be evicted and that he should remain where he is. Then you have the federal high court, again, through Justice Amobeda, issuing another order, saying that Emir Sanusi should withdraw. So you have a situation whereby in this matter you have Section 4, Section 5, Section 6 of the Constitution, all playing roles that have become very controversial depending on who is living at the matter. But the saddest part of it is the role now being played by the judiciary. And what is the issue here? This shopping for ex parte orders. Now, I thought there was a point in this country when the president of the High Court, particularly, the Federal High Court, had to give practice direction that the abuse of ex parte orders do not do well, do not serve the purpose of the judiciary process. Ex parte orders are in a class of their own, that famous phrase about being sui generis. Now, ex parte orders are ordered when there is an immediate thing where there could be a violation of other people's rights, an emergency. Let's just use simple English. When there is an emergency and the course of justice could be derailed, then the judge will issue an ex parte order, maybe an interlocutory injunction, an interim injunction, just to protect the course of justice and the rights of the parties that are involved in the matter. But we now go to a point where an ex parte order could be issued at will, nicodemously, even at night, and judges began to dish out, ex parte orders as if penance was being issued out, as was the case in medieval times. And that, I think, does not make the judiciary look good. Number 2, is the conduct of lawyers. These processes are filed by lawyers. Now, the NBA exists. What is the NBA doing? The NBA has legal, privileges and disciplinary committee. Now, these lawyers in Kano, what is the NBA saying about them? Because before a matter goes to the judge, there must be a lawyer who will go and file it. And then you have all kinds of lawyers, who just do the bidding of clients and are not serving the purpose of being officers in the temple of justice. Recently, the National Judicial Council had to sanction judges to even say that some of them will not gain the next promotion because of the way they have conducted themselves.
You've seen it for yourself. Now let's take a look at the legal and judicial concerns. First of all, Nigerian Bar Association. There are accusations of legal malpractice, with some lawyers allegedly prioritizing monetary gains over professional ethics by filing cases despite existing judgments. This has led to a perceived degradation of the justice system indeed. Secondly, the National Judicial Council at this point is urged to intervene and address the issue of contradicting judgments from different courts, which creates confusion and undermines the legal system. Judges issuing conflicting rulings contribute to chaos, complicating the efforts of law enforcement agencies to maintain order. And lastly, the federal government. Accusations suggest that the federal government might be involved, driven by its own interests. This perceived interference complicates the situation further, suggesting that political motivations are at play rather than genuine concern for the welfare of Kano State citizens. Now, the implications of this. The ongoing turmoil poses significant risk, including potential social unrest and the erosion of public trust in the judicial system. The citizens of Kano State find themselves caught in the middle, used as pawns in a larger political game. Now, the stability of the region hinges on resolving these disputes amicably and ensuring that justice prevails. Frankly, addressing this crisis requires a multifaceted approach involving the NBA, the National Judicial Council, and possibly federal oversight to ensure that the rule of law is upheld and that the interests of the people of Kano are protected above all else. Ensuring a transparent and fair resolution to the emirate dispute is crucial for maintaining peace and stability in the region.